Hey everybody, Chris Parks here from TubeClone.tv. And I've gotten a lot of emails over the years, but I think one of the most common questions I get asked is, how do you monetize this blog? How do you monetize this? How do you make money from something? How do you generate revenue? And that's a really, really good question. And the answer to it is actually quite simple, because it doesn't really matter what kind of website you own. You can own a website about dogs, you can own an entertainment website or a website that caters to millennials, but it really doesn't matter what kind of site you own. What really matters is how well you understand your audience, because you need to be able to understand what your audience is interested in order to select your monetization devices, your revenue generating mechanisms. And what I mean by that is, let's say for example you have a blog about sports, right? It can be for any team, any sport in the world. But ultimately, if you have a website about sports, then you should know a little bit about the team. You should know a little bit about the sport itself, because that way you'll be able to understand your audience and what they're interested in. So if you have a blog about sports, and it can be a video blog, it can be a traditional blog, it can be a magazine-based site, doesn't really matter. But if you have a property, a web property that deals with sports, then you should probably be able to intuit what your audience is interested in. So in this example, with regard to a sports site, what I would do if I had a sports related blog, first thing I would do is I would see, what are people buying who are interested in this sport. And inevitably it will boil down to, it could be apparel products, it could be games, it could be sport related games, it could be really about anything. But once you've identified what your target group, your target market is interested in, then you select your monetization devices for that. And these can be affiliate products, these can be Amazon-based products. You can, of course, use AdSense and AdWords. The really interesting thing about AdWords is AdWords and AdSense, or AdSense really, if you're a publisher, AdSense does a lot of the research for you. And by that, I mean they will automatically examine your content. Their algorithms will examine your website content with whatever your site is about, and if the content is determined to be about sports, then of course what does AdSense do? It starts showing you ads about sports related products, right? So you should just take a look at AdSense, and you don't really have to use AdSense. If you're not crazy about AdSense, that's fine. But you should look at how AdSense works and apply that to your own mechanisms, your own revenue generating devices. So what you do is you look at your target market and find out what they're interested in, and then you look for the products that you can sell them. You're going to be using affiliate products, like I said, Amazon products, etc. It can be JV products, where you might be friends or associates or colleagues with someone who owns a website that's very similar to yours, or they have a product that's very similar to yours, and you can make a deal with them, and in exchange for exposing their particular product on your website, you can generate some revenue, some commissions. In addition, there's also all kinds of automated revenue generating mechanisms. In addition to AdSense itself, there is InfoLinks. InfoLinks is a really, really good program, and depending upon your market, it may not pay an awful lot, but InfoLinks is a really good, solid revenue generating mechanism that I would use, in conjunction with other mechanisms as well. InfoLinks essentially, interprets your content, and they insert relevant links into your website for you. Sort of like AdSense, but just a little bit different, because they put the advertisements in text, in line with your own content. So it's very, very difficult to miss if you're a visitor to one of these blogs. You're reading the content, you're looking at the content, and you can see these InfoLink ads stand out really, really quite well. You can also look at selling banner advertising space on your site, and this really is probably one of the most overlooked methods of making money from a website that there is. Not only is it the most overlooked method, but it is also the most profitable. if you look at a lot of the larger websites, the larger internet destinations, and I'm talking about news sites, I'm talking about special interest sites, things like that. And really, most of the time, they are not using network monetization devices. In other words, they're not really using AdSense or anything else. They are rather selling their own advertising space on their sites. And the fact that they are doing this should give you a clue that this really is the way that you can go. Because if you're selling advertising space on your own website, and selling it can be as simple as just putting a little tiny banner on one of your existing ad spaces, and most websites do have sidebar areas or header areas, just places where you can put your own banner. And it could be as simple as a very, very generic message that says, advertise here, contact us now. And that banner can link to your email address or to a contact form. Usually just an email address is one of the easiest ways to do it. And people can inquire and contact you for your advertising rates. And I've seen advertisers pay anywhere from $50 a month up to $15,000 per month just for a tiny banner advertisement. And the really cool thing about this is that most websites have lots of space for banner ads. So that means that you have not just the potential, the ability to sell to just one advertiser, but you can sell advertising space to multiple advertisers. So that's something you should really look at. And don't let the fact that I'm using the word sell, don't let that scare you at all, because there really is no selling. That if someone is interested in advertising on your website, they can simply click on that banner that you might have that says, advertise here, contact us now, or learn how to get to gain exposure for your website or your product, whatever it is. There really isn't any selling. They're simply contacting you, and you're giving them the rates, and the rates are usually depending upon the amount of traffic your website gets, or the niche or the market of your website. So it's a very, very effective mechanism for monetizing your site. So a lot of this might not be new to you, some of it might be new, but regardless, one of the things that we always teach our clients is how to monetize their websites, how to generate revenue from their websites. And it's something that is not complicated at all. In terms of owning a website, WordPress and the various CMS platforms that are out there, they make website ownership very, very simple and very, very easy, to where you really don't have to put a lot of time and effort into actually managing your website. And that frees you up to be able to focus on monetizing and generating revenue. And that really is where your focus should be, on looking at how you can identify the opportunities for the people who are visiting your website to be exposed to advertising mechanisms and revenue generating devices to generate income and profit for you. And it's really incredibly simple. It's one of the things that we teach our clients right out the gate. We teach them how to identify the products they can use. We introduce them to various networks, for example, in addition to AdSense and InfoLinks. There are a lot of really good CPA programs out there, the cost per acquisition. And what this is, the CPA programs, they are essentially banners, and they are networks. One of my favorite networks is a network called PureFly. That's Bears-Fans.com, and that's a really good CPA network. And what this is, if you're not familiar with CPA, these networks allow you to put various banners on your websites, and these banners can be anything, but it's usually about how to get something free, like how to get some free coupons, or get a free iPad or a free iPhone in exchange for taking action or doing something. And you can get paid anywhere from a quarter up to $3 or $4, sometimes $20, $50 or more. Like a lot of the insurance CPA programs pay a lot of money, $50 per lead I've seen. So CPA is also another really good platform for generating revenue for your website. So these are just a few of the things that we teach our clients about how to generate money and revenue from their website. So if you'd like to know more, just please contact me, and we're happy to teach you exactly how to do it.